Well, again, I just really want to get my steps in today. So again, I'd like to please welcome me in joining the very first speaker, Peggy Johnson, the CEO of Magic Leap.
Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? Great. Awesome. And I have no slides up here. There we go. You know, it's interesting. I've been watching this industry for years now, and the world's been told that AR is the future and that it's going to change our lives. It's going to change the way we work, the way we play, but it's always been just a few years out, just over the horizon. Well, at Magic Leap, we got tired of waiting. And a decade ago, the company got to work building that future. And many of those people are in this room today. A lot of them are still at Magic Leap, making the impossible possible. Awesome. And there are so many Magic Leap alumni here as well. You all are doing just amazing things out in the industry. And I just want to acknowledge that, because as a result of all of your work, the vision of AR that some legacy tech companies are still promising is years out, is not years out, it's not months out, it's not days out. It is here right now. So thank you very much to all of you Magic Leapers, ex and existing ones. Thank you. Now, Magic Leap is being used now by industry leaders to envision what doesn't yet exist, and by developers to build what the world will run on next, and by surgeons to make real-time decisions inside of the operating room, and also by architects and engineers to manifest physical elements in empty spaces. And what we've built is a purpose-built enterprise augmented reality device specifically designed to break down the barriers that have held back the adoption of AR. Things like low quality visuals, this inability to see content in brightly lit settings, previously all packaged up in hot, heavy, kind of clunky headsets built on closed, very restrictive platforms. And I'm incredibly proud that the small team at Magic Leap has managed to achieve something that really many companies are still struggling to build today. And that's because true AR isn't easy to create. It's even more challenging to make these things in volume. It's incredibly complex, it's expensive to develop, and it takes significant time to get it right. Frankly, more time than most companies are willing to invest. But it's worth it because with AR, we can work in ways that were never before possible. It can enable you to do your job better, faster, smarter, by allowing you to maintain your real-world perspective while realistically integrating high-quality, behaviorally aware digital content into your field of view. And because of the value this tech is now able to deliver, big tech players are attracted to the space, and that's great. But in trying to release a viable device, most are entering the market with pass-through video, which is something of a middle ground in the XR space. Now, pass-through can emulate what true AR does, and it's fine for scenarios like entertainment and screen replacements and things like that, but the latency and the distortion issues alone make it unsuitable for a lot of the enterprise use cases that we're focused on. In fact, I can't really imagine a situation where a surgeon, would rather look at a display of the patient in front of them rather than actually seeing that patient. I mean, you can imagine if there's any latency in the display at all, that leg can really have some very real human consequences. So it's not quite right for those sorts of things, but it is definitely right for surgeons. But with true AR, like Magic Leap 2, you aren't restricted by that latency, the distortion effects of pass-through, and it does expand the enterprise use cases significantly. And we have built the industry's smallest, lightest, and most immersive AR device, designed for all-day wear. You can have this device on for hours. And with our main focus on enterprise use, it's the only device that has our dynamic dimming technology, where you can dim the background and make the digital content really pop. It helps to see digital content in brightly lit environments. We've doubled the field of view, and we're delivering unparalleled image quality, color fidelity, and text legibility. Magic Leap 2 is also IEC 60601 certified, which means it's a medical device and you can bring it into the operating room. And recently, we just were certified for UL 8400, which is the first standard for AR and VR safety equipment. And all of these innovations are critical to making AR a true, viable enterprise technology that can be used daily for a variety of use cases, things like training, collaboration, any sort of 3D visualization or remote assistance. And this level of AR immersion is right now only available on Magic Leap 2. A big part of the value we bring to our enterprise customers are the capabilities that our device empowers them to leverage in their own solutions. So for instance, developers are in control of every aspect of the Magic Leap 2 device and the information it gathers. And with its powerful array of sensors and cameras, Magic Leap 2 captures clear, useful visual data for them. Built on an open platform, we're already seeing some really exciting progress in AI integration with AR, using solutions on our device. And I actually believe AR devices are poised to become one of the best endpoints for the new AI systems that are out in the market today. And we've already obviously incorporated some AI into our devices through computer vision and machine learning, because that's what's needed to power things like the creation of digital twins and to precisely integrate digital content into our physical world. But what makes Magic Leap 2 perfectly positioned to be an edge device for enterprise AI is our combination of all of the input sensors, our industry-leading output display, and then our ability to create services that connect all of these sensors to the AI systems. Our platform ingests so much specific visual data that it's able to create truly powerful and contextual AI. So for instance, imagine having enough visual data and context to distinguish between a lit candle, a fireplace, and a house that's burning down. That's the sort of AI that we can offer with this platform now. And this ability to provide contextual input and contextual output will absolutely be a game changer for AI. And then further, as one of the only pure play enterprise AR customers out there, our core business model doesn't rely on storing your data or harvesting your data or selling your data. Our whole mission is simply to create more utility for enterprise. We also deeply, deeply believe in an open ecosystem strategy. I believe that's the best approach to accelerate this technology, and building on an industry-leading device isn't good if the solutions it enables are restricted by a closed platform. So an open platform will accelerate adoption and integration of new technologies for all of you devs out there. And because we are Android-based, we weren't designed as a walled garden, and we're able to interact with and receive input from almost any connected device. And that's because this is a platform capability and all of this is accomplished up at the app level, and it's open to any Magic Leap developer. So for example, we have an app called Assist, and that allows you to connect a remote expert who can mark up a Magic Leap user's physical environment from any phone, tablet, or PC, and from anywhere. They can integrate work instructions, they can bring in videos, schematics, they can even annotate physical elements in the room of the Magic Leap user. And finally, we built our platform to make development and deployment as easy as possible. We knew it was crucial to be able to create a virtuous cycle between ourselves, the dev community, and enterprise customers. So we're compliant with OpenXR standards. We have support for Microsoft's MRTK, for Unity, and you can even port solutions that were developed for other devices and platforms to the Magic Leap 2 device. And devs can use their choice of graphics engines. Magic Leap already supports CAPI, Unity, and third-party engines via OpenXR. And today I'm excited to share that a preview of the Unreal Engine plugin for Magic Leap 2 will be released on the Unreal Engine Marketplace in August. So excited about that. Yeah, because as you know, Unreal Engine has just had this profound effect on the world of AR. They empower devs to create these highly immersive and stunning AR experiences. And it's also played a pivotal role in pushing the boundaries of AR technology too, which we're pretty excited to see because the solutions that it enabled, I think we can't even imagine at this moment. So I would say the truth is we're at a real inflection point right now for AR technology. In the last month since we launched Magic Leap 2, we've seen amazing traction from enterprises across manufacturing, industrial entities, architecture, engineering, construction, healthcare, and the public sector. The tech, both the hardware and the solution ecosystem, is now at a stage where it's creating real, tangible value for these sectors, like upskilling traditionally non-technical workers and solving for workforce gaps in factories where they're struggling to bring workers in. Another example is through our remote assistance feature, where we connect experts on one side of the world with workers on the other side to fix machinery that they may not be fully familiar with, and that avoids expensive downtime that might otherwise require time-consuming travel to get that expert in place. And then finally, we're seeing real-world use cases that are providing value today. When we created Magic Leap 2 for enterprise, we knew it was important to maintain our perspective of the realities companies have bringing a new device into their corporate IT infrastructure. And considering that, we built our platform to be completely cloud agnostic so that it could integrate with whatever company's chosen cloud was, as well as their chosen MDMs and any of the security standards. Now our customers and our partners span the globe. They're integrating this tech to great effect already. So the future we all keep being promised, this one where AR is a valuable tool that's part of people's lives, it isn't distant. Businesses have begun to realize that it's actually here today, and we've delivered it with Magic Leap 2. And the enthusiasm and adoption keeps growing. It's just an exciting time to be in the AR space because so much transformation is finally underway. And we're working with some incredible partners, with Cisco, with VMware, with Nvidia, Unity, Epic, Argyle, Arvisio, Formavision, yes, Frontline, and a whole bunch of others who surprise me every single day with the AR solutions that they're building. And right now, I am very happy to bring a couple of these partners on the stage. First, let me invite Kimberly Powell, VP of Healthcare at Nvidia, to join me on stage. Here with us.
Peggy, thank you so much. Everything you just said is exactly what we live and breathe every day at NVIDIA, and I am in 100% agreement. We're at an inflection point where AR is going to change the way healthcare is practiced and delivered. So I'm excited to talk to you about it today.
Thank you. I think we should start first with having you talk a little bit about NVIDIA's Omniverse, because it's a fascinating platform.
Yeah, NVIDIA Omniverse is an amazing platform that is really meant to create metaverse applications. We built this so that individuals, whether they're creators, artists, designers, or enterprise teams, can build immersive 3D applications and workflows in a very collaborative environment. They're using the universal scene description language so that it can plug into all of the applications that you just spoke about as well. So designers are living in their native environment, but able to collaborate. And more recently, building in streaming capabilities so we can stream this amazing immersive world with real-time ray tracing and all of the high fidelity immersive right into the Magic Leap 2.
It's awesome. It's been wonderful really to watch our teams work so well together to drive some real useful innovations that are having impact on businesses today.
That's right. I mean, you talked about it. You showed a few of the snippets. I would totally encourage you to go see it in the booth. Every industry is going through what's called digitization. And now, because you can turn that digital information and create what are digital twins, and be able to operate those digital twins on the Omniverse platform, and then provide the users the capability to be completely immersed, new experiences are going to be had. You showed them in the automotive industry, so where you don't have to go off and make clay models of cars anymore, you can actually walk around and be completely immersed, and we're showing that in the booth, and we're going to talk a lot more about application areas in healthcare.
Yeah, so come on by the booth. The work we're doing in healthcare actually is pretty amazing because I think it's going to significantly change how healthcare is delivered. Can you talk a little bit about Nvidia's focus in this area?
Yeah, so healthcare has been something we've been working on for 15 years, which surprises a lot of people, but it shouldn't really. We've invented our platform for healthcare called Nvidia Clara, after Clara Barton, not Santa Clara. She's the inventor of the American Red Cross, which is a platform to help people. What our focus is in our charter in the healthcare BU is how do you take the most advanced computing technologies, whether that's computer graphics, accelerated computing, and of course now artificial intelligence, and bring them into the healthcare industry. And so we started our journey in medical imaging, which is why Magic Leap 2 and our partnership is so important. Imaging drives every single step of the patient journey, from the early detection and screening process to diagnostics and what is the true problem that you have, all the way through to now treatment, things like robotic surgery. And so because it's that lifeline, we need to be able to bring the 3D nature of that information really into the hands of the professionals. And so it's pretty mind-boggling and staggering to know that only 1/3 of the world's population has access to radiology services or surgical services. And so I think the platform that we're building together and the solutions that we're enabling the world with is going to be a very powerful enabler to bring healthcare to not only improve the patient outcomes that have access to it, but broaden the access to the rest of the 2/3 of the world.
I totally agree. It's really remarkable to see this combination of AI with true AR enables this completely new way for doctors and surgeons to visualize and perform complex procedures. So think of surgical planning and 3D visualizations of MRIs and CT scans that can help a practitioner get a better understanding of a patient's anatomy before surgery and even guide them through an operation.
100%. I mean, just think about human body. It's 3D by definition. And there's no better way to be able to understand whether that's planning preoperatively for a surgery or looking at an MRI or a CT in 3D to give the radiologist that spatial resolution, that immersive spatial resolution. And we're adding all these amazing, cinematic rendering, and a brand new CT scanner was just invented in the last couple of years called Photon CT, where you're actually going to be able to witness 4D and 5D activity in the CT scan. So this ability to then consume that through the Magic Leap 2 is going to be completely game-changing.
So, and that's where we come in with Magic Leap. And I got to personally experience this imagery recently when I was running out in Colorado, and I tripped and fell on a really rocky mountain bike trail, actually. And I just went flying, and it was kind of ominously called Anaerobic Nightmare. That was the name of the trail. That might have been a heads up, don't run down that thing, but I did. And apparently I gave myself a hernia doing so. Yeah. So I think you may have an image of my insides. Here they are.
This is a very intimate view of Peggy, but this is what doctors do.
I have absolutely no modesty, so sure, put it up there.
So we took a CT scan. We brought it into Nvidia's platform. We added cinematic rendering, and we're able to use a platform that we created called HoloScan to be able to connect to the Magic Leap and create this complete immersive 3D view to fly through Peggy's body, to slice it up in all the different dimensions. And you can just imagine the patient experience where, women get hernias, right? We were just talking about this. And so now you can have that discussion with your doctor to really understand what happened in my anatomy. How can if we have to operate on it, what does that look like? And how can I avoid this in the future?
It is kind of amazing to see your actual anatomy in 3D in full scale and share it with all of you today. So there I am. All joking aside, being on the patient side in this case, I want my physician to have this kind of information. I want to benefit from this kind of technology, and it's only really possible with true AR AI and the types of tools you all are delivering with Holoscan and Monai. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about Monai, because that's another piece of the solution.
Yeah, Monai is an open source framework that Nvidia has built with an open source consortium. So if you're familiar with PyTorch, I'll just put it out there. It's the PyTorch, medical imaging PyTorch. It's domain specific. It's out there for the developers out there. It's ready for you to take. It has a ton of pre-trained models. You'll see in that rendering, you need to do things like segment out all of the different anatomies and then add on the cinematic rendering. And so Monai is a framework of pre-trained models. You can customize these models and a way for you to run these models on our Holoscan platform so that you could build applications just like this with the combination of both hardware and software coming together, and the ability, we have the inside, we have reference applications of how you can plug those applications right into Magic Leap too. So from a developer's perspective, we've got everything for you.
It's just great stuff. And Kimberly, I just want to thank you so much for joining me here today. We're so proud of the work that Nvidia has done in healthcare, and we can't wait to see what's next.
Thank you for the opportunity. Great to see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really love seeing the different ways our tech is augmenting work to make us all better, faster, and smarter. And true AR is having this impact across so many industries. But healthcare is evolving so rapidly. I just had to show you all that. The innovation is having these real, tangible impact on people's lives. Now, our partnerships range from the very large, established companies that are building complex frameworks like what you just heard from Kimberly, to smaller businesses founded on the idea of solving a specific industry problem. And many of these solutions are only able to be solved with this type of AR. One such company we've been working with is named Argyle. I've had the pleasure of getting to know their CEO, Merit Thatcher, and her family business is construction. And after a long career practicing law, she had her first experience with AR, and having spent so much of her life on job sites, and she immediately recognized that this transformative potential that this tech had on some of the inefficient ways that commercial and industrial buildings are constructed. And so I would love you to welcome Merit Thatcher, CEO of Argyle, to the stage. Yes, I am so glad you're here with us.
Well, when it comes to Argyle, there's a lot to talk about.
I can't wait. So let's dive right in. I think we should probably start at the beginning. And can you tell everyone what Argyle is?
Sure, yes. Argyle is a building information modeling to AR app, and we make it for industrial and commercial construction. And it's designed to save projects time and money. And I gotta tell you what, we need both of those things in construction with our low margins.
So I am learning. I would just like to know, how exactly do they save money if they're using your product?
Right, so in construction, there's this concept called rework. And rework happens on every project, and it happens every single day on projects. It's so costly.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, I'll describe rework.
Yeah, please do.
Anytime you install something and you need to like tear it out, you pour concrete on misplaced embeds, this is waste in construction, and it is so large it can be measured against the GDPs of some countries. So Austria has a $480 billion GDP. United States construction rework is in the $500 billion estimate. So huge, huge problem. But when you're looking at this rework problem and like, why is this happening? When you build in 3D, you're actually looking at 2D plans most of the time. And even if you have your 3D model on a 2D screen, it's not something that's overlaid on the site until Argyle. So Argyle has taken these existing BIM models, building information models, and put them on the site so that they can see how it interacts, they can see how their work interacts with one another, and they can do this all without having to constantly recalibrate it to the site.
Oh, that's awesome. So before foundations are laid, or I guess even before concrete is poured, you can walk the building site and kind of preview the building to add or change elements.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So you can toggle piping on ducts, structural. The folks using Argyle don't necessarily have experience with their building model. They don't have any experience in AR. They're just experts at doing the job. So this is the most powerful reference tool we can give them. And the barriers to entry are so low, it's just put on the device.
That's great. Are you able to share the names of any Argyle users?
Yes, so there's a few. We're in some really big deployments at chip factories and EV manufacturing facilities, but some I can name by name are Shawmut Design and Construction out of Boston. Up the road from you in Jacksonville, Florida, there's Miller Electric. And I have to mention one more. This is in Oregon. They're not a big industrial company. They're an 80-person design build firm, but O'Brien Design Build is using this to preview for their wineries and their breweries.
Yes, very important work.
Very important.
That's great. So big and small companies alike. What about the user experience for people?
Right, so we did a lot to improve user experience, but then when we got Argyle onto the Magic Leap, that was opening up even more worlds for us. So the first thing I'll mention is performance. These models are enormous, and they didn't run well on other devices. They would crash other devices. Another thing is when you go out to a job site, it doesn't always have a roof, so you're doing a lot of your work outdoors. The holograms used to be just washed out. Sometimes even when you look at your iPad trying to look at the blueprints, it's hard to see them on a bright day, but with dynamic dimming and with Magic Leap, it is visible. It is like, okay, you're there, the holograms are there. I think just lastly, I'd mention the development process and porting to the Magic Leap. This is a developer conference. It was so easy. They made this really fast and really easy, and it's a device we can grow with too, because we're not limited by performance and such. So
Right.
I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, we definitely listened to the developer feedback on Magic Leap too, but it's really great to hear it's been successful for you, Merritt, and this is one of the exact use cases that we had in mind when we were first envisioning what Magic Leap 2 could do. So thank you for bringing it to life, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It has been wonderful to work with Magic Leap.
Thank you. So for us, partnerships aren't just about scale. It's about delivering value in these types of collaborations. And it's important that we keep reminding ourselves that technology is a tool, and its value lies in its usefulness at that moment. We're also used to hearing about what a technology will be able to do for us in the future. At Magic Leap, we'd rather talk about what these tools can do for us today. So would love to get together and work with all of you. And with that, thank you very much.